This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Very, very good win for the New York Knicks tonight. They beat the Celtics 105-95. For the most part, they dominated the basketball game. Right? They had a 20 plus point lead and dominated this basketball game. Hey, the rotations, ladies and gentlemen, continue to be the same. You know, we saw a little bit different. Right? We saw some things just a little bit different. Huck Porty didn't play. Right? Huck Porty didn't play. Jemison didn't play. And obviously that's due to the size of the Boston Celtics and all of those things. You know what I'm saying? They're a smaller team, so Mike Brown wanted to match the size of the Boston Celtics. You know, Deuce in the starting lineup tonight. Again, Mitchell Robinson didn't play. Josh Hart did play. Right? I did say in the previous game, you know, if Mitchell Robinson continues to be out, we may see Deuce enter into that starting lineup, and he did so tonight. And, you know, I don't know how much of it is because of the, I don't know how much of it is because we had a small team or if it was because this is the change that Mike Brown wanted to see. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm still encouraged by everything that I'm seeing with this basketball team. You know what I mean? You know, a lot of good things to go around with this basketball team. Let's talk some stats. All right, we'll get into some stats, and soon I'll have Tony Crow jumping into the building. You know, so we can break this basketball game down. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the box score, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Tonight, the Knicks were led in scoring by none other than Jalen Brunson. 31 points for Jalen Brunson. 3 rebounds, 5 assists. Karl Anthony Towns, big game, 26 points, 13 rebounds. He only shot 37.5% from the field, 66.7% from the three-point line, though, for Karl Anthony Towns. Again, the Knicks did their thing on the glass, as we expect for them to do. You know what I'm saying? The Knicks have a rebounding basketball team. You know, so we should expect that they're going to rebound the basketball and rebound the basketball well. You know what I'm saying? 10 points for OG Anunoby. He did go out in the fourth quarter with some kind of an injury. Not exactly sure what that injury was. Hopefully it's just like a strain or not a strain. I don't want to say a strain. Hopefully it was a cramp. Definitely don't want it to be a strain. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it was just a cramp or something like that. You know what I mean? I think, you know, when you look at tonight, you know, the Knicks shot 38% from the field. They shot 37% from the three-point line. Better shooting from the three-point line. Not so great from the field. Of course, you're playing a team that's tough defensively. You know, a team that can really get into you, right, and make you have to grind it out. But we saw, even with that type of play, the Knicks can be successful. right? This particular basketball team. And when it came down to it, Jalen Brunson was going to take shots. 20 shots tonight for Jalen Brunson, 16 for Karl Anthony Towns, 10 for McCall, 10 for OG. Josh Hart took 8 shots, 1 for 8 from the field, 14 rebounds for Josh Hart, though. Good overall basketball game for the Knicks, 2-0 on the season. Right, 2 teams that they could not beat last year in the regular season. They took out the first 2 games of the season. Right, 2 teams that they could not beat, they took out. So, that's encouraging, very, very encouraging, should I say? You know what I mean? I'm gonna try to get my man Tony Crow here in the building. I got a little background work to do, Tony, to get you in the building. So just be patient. If you can. All right, got a little bit of background work to do. I know you said you can't hear me. So, I'm going to work on that. Obviously, I'm working on some things here to try to get everything right. You know what I'm saying? As we're getting back in the fold, as people know I got a new setup. So every time you got a new setup and you're changing some things around, you never know what's going to happen. Like right now. You know what I mean? So there we go. Now we're back in business the way it needs to be. Anyway, looking at just some games. Well, let's take a look at the Boston Celtics and their stat line for the night. And, this might be a tough season for the Celtics. Jaylen Brown maybe isn't, I don't know. Maybe he's not what, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm expecting Jaylen Brown to step up and really, really take control at some point. When I'm looking at him tonight, he looked kind of like he is still kind of passive, not really taking that leadership role, not really being the guy. He just looked kind of passive to me. 23 points for Jaylen Brown, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Sam Hauser, 18 points. Derek White, 15 points. Anthony Simons, 10 points. Something I noticed with the Boston Celtics, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the Celtics, but something I noticed with them is that they don't have leadership out there right now. They're not a team with leadership. You know what I'm saying? And, I think that's going to kill them all season long. I just don't see the leadership. Drew Holiday brought that leadership to them. You know what I'm saying? He was the guy. Jason Tatum brings some leadership. You know what I'm saying? Jason Tatum brings some leadership, but he doesn't bring but he's not on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Tony, hold up before you enter into the stage because I have a setup here that I got to work with. But they're missing that leadership. Of course, leadership can come from the coach. You know what I mean? But I don't know. This is going to be a very different Boston Celtics team. Very different. And, a lot of people thought that they were going to come in with, this super energy, because they wanted to, get the Knicks back for eliminating them in the playoffs. But you know what? The Knicks just have too many weapons. Looking at the way that Mike Brown is using the team, it's like an AAU team out there. There's just too many weapons out there on the floor. You know what I mean? And he's running like he's subbing like boom, 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 boom. Now you got some guys, that we expect we're going to get more minutes, maybe not getting as many minutes, and that's okay. That's quite all right. And we'll see how that changes. One guy I don't know if I'm surprised, but Tyler Kolek is getting a lot of burn. You know what I mean? And maybe he's going to be a mainstay in this rotation. You know what I mean? Right now, he's playing good basketball. He's producing when he's out there on the floor. The three ball isn't falling like most of us think it can, but that'll come in time. You know what I mean? And he's doing good. That's one thing that the one thing I said is, anytime anyone asked me about Kolek, I was just always like, I want to see him do it against NBA competition. And so far, in 2 games this season, he's been doing it against NBA competition. And it makes me wonder, when we talk about Malcolm Brogdon, maybe Malcolm Brogdon found out from the coaching staff that they were going to play Tyler Kolek instead of him. And so it led him to say, you know what, I might as well retire. You know what I mean? And maybe that's what it was. On the telecast, they said, well, Malcolm Brogdon retired. So now Tyler Kolek is getting playing time. Maybe it's opposite that. Maybe Malcolm Brogdon found out that he wasn't going to play. And because he found out he wasn't going to play, he decided that he was going to retire. It's wholly and definitely possible. But Tyler Kolek is playing good basketball. He's contributing to the basketball team. He's not playing scared. I've seen a little bit of burst from him a couple times out there. What can I say? What can I say? Tyler Kolek is looking he's looking decent out there. And hopefully it's gonna continue. I think it'll continue. You know what I mean? Let me see what people are saying in the chat. Of course, we got the phone lines up, ladies and gentlemen. You can give us a call, 516-362-5212. I do want to know what you're thinking about tonight's game. You know what I mean? I want to see what we're thinking. LV Shore said we're fucking stacked. I don't even care who's on the floor. 70 wins. Let's slow down a bit. I don't know about 70 wins. Let's slow down just a little bit. Give these guys a chance to, I know we won our first 2 games of the season and we're happy. We feel good about it. You know what I mean? But let's just slow down for a second. 70 wins, that's a lot of wins. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of wins. Fred Wong said the difference with Kolek is he's getting playing time with rotation players and not just into the bench players. He's getting playing time with rotation players for sure. I'm not going to, I'm not even going to go back and do the whole Tom Thibodeau thing and, if he should have or should have not been playing and all that kind of stuff because, as I said the other night, you don't know how much him not playing is part of him producing now and being able to produce now. We don't know. You know what I mean? So, I'd rather just leave it to the fact that he's playing now and he's producing now. Shout out to Jason Benjamin. Thank you for the super chat. He said Kolek is too slept on by the fan base. He's nice. Last year, I felt like Kolek was a little shaky. This year, he's playing much better basketball. He's playing with confidence. He looks a little bit faster, too, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. He looks a little bit faster. He looks stronger, so I'm encouraged by what I'm saying when we talk about Kolek. Classian said, I like that the lineups are unpredictable, definitely harder to plan against that. I don't know if they're always going to remain unpredictable. You know what I mean? I think that eventually we're going to be able to predict who's going to be out there on the floor. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't think they're always going to be unpredictable. You know, Tony, Tony, hold on for 1 second. I'll get you in a minute. I don't know if he can even hear me. You know what I'm saying? But I'll get him in there in a minute. But I don't know if they're always going to be unpredictable. I think that eventually he's gonna, well, right now, let's say this. Right now, they are still kind of predictable. You know what I'm saying? We saw who came in at what time versus Cleveland, and those players came in at the same time tonight. The only difference that we saw is that Huck Porty didn't play and Deuce was in the starting lineup, and then of course Josh Hart played, right? But when we talk minutes-wise, Jordan Clarkson basically the same amount of minutes. Tyler Kolek, basically the same amount of minutes. So I do think, there's going to be a rhythm to the substitution patterns. I don't think it's just going to be all over the place. There will be a rhythm to the substitution patterns, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So let me go over the box score for the Boston Celtics. Then I'm gonna try to get this technology right with Tony. All right. Just looking at the Celtics tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I think I did go over the box score. My bad. Let me go over the game stats. Then I'll go over the box score. You see, I'm still in preseason form, ladies and gentlemen. So looking at the game stats tonight, the Knicks, 105-95 over the Celtics, 53 rebounds for the Knicks, 23 assists. I think we'd like to see those assist numbers come up, but, it's early, and the Knicks haven't really shot well so far. 7 steals for the Knicks, 4 blocks for the Knicks, 15 turnovers, only 4 in the first half, 11 in the second half for the Knicks. They did turn the ball over some. 38.4% from the field, 37.8% from the three-point line, 88% from the free throw line for the New York Knicks. Points in the paint, Knicks actually lose the points in the paint, 36-30. 21 second chance points for the Knicks, 15 fast break points for the Knicks. Overall, good basketball game for the New York Knicks. We'll get better shooting wise. Sean says, Sim, do your homework on Mike Brown. This is the way he coaches. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about the rotations, the amount of players? Someone said that the lineups are unpredictable. I'm saying that they are predictable. I knew that Jordan Clarkson was probably going to come in at the top of the second quarter, similar to what happened in the previous game. The only thing that was different is that Huck Porty didn't play, but I think guys still played the amount of minutes that they were slated to play and came in at the same times. Now, a few things happened that Mike Brown wanted to make a couple of changes here and there, but for the most part, I think it was, I could kind of see from the first game who was going to come in to the game and win. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. The Public Enemy said, ain't nothing wrong with Mitchell Robinson. I got love for Mitch, but the Knicks keeping him out to make a trade for Giannis. You see the freak putting up numbers showcasing his skills until January. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure about that. I guess we'll see. I don't even want to talk about Giannis right now, to be honest with you. I just want to focus on what the Knicks are doing. You know what I mean? I want Mike Brown to be able to have to build with this roster, and it not just be that he is playing with a moving roster. That happened with Tom Thibodeau, a moving roster. Every year, new starters, every year, new bench, all that kind of stuff. So I don't even want to talk about Giannis. I want to see this roster grow together. You know what I mean? I want to see this roster grow together. I don't want to. I don't want to see. I don't want to see nothing else yet. Let's see where this roster can take us before we start, figuring out if we're gonna trade this guy and that guy. Let's see where the roster can take us. You know what I mean? Good game for the New York Knicks. Good 2 wins for the New York Knicks. And we're just going to get better. So I think Tony said it in the last show. Let's continue to get better and learn while we win. It gets no better than that. To learn while we win. You know what I mean? Sean, it's the honest thing. So you don't know the 5 guys he's going to have on the court once he starts making his substitutions. I just disagree. Obviously, right now he's doing some experimenting and figuring out who's going to be out there on the floor, but I don't think it's always going to be that way. Right? I don't think it's always going to be that way. I think he'll settle down with a stable rotation. And that doesn't mean it's going to be less players. It just means people will know about when they're going in the game. That's all I'm saying. Because you can't just keep going hodgepodge. I'm sorry. You got to give guys time to get together and learn how to play together. If you keep going hodgepodge, guys will never get comfortable. You got to give them a chance to get comfortable. That's all I'm saying. You got to give them a chance to get comfortable. You know what I mean? So I do think he'll settle down into something that is, stable and solid and consistent. Consistency helps you win. Like it or not. Consistency helps you win. So I do think he'll settle down into something like that. All right. Let me see. Give me a second. I know we're doing a little bit of tech work here while we're live on the show. Let me see if I can get my man Tony in the building. So he can hear me and all that kind of stuff. Tony, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me.
Mic check. Okay, Yo, Black, it's time.
Okay, we're good. All right. Okay. We got it. I got it, at least for right now. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, let's talk about some stuff. Now let's really get into a few things here. Huck Porty didn't play. Do you think that's
I was wondering if I missed him.
Right.
My bad.
I was going to say, do you think that's solely because of the Boston Celtics and the size of their team? Or do you think it's because, since Mitch is he's going to be out for an extended period of time, and it's like, okay, let's settle in. And so they're settling in with Deuce, right? Or was it just because, Deuce, the Celtics are small, so Deuce fit that role for tonight? What do you think? I mean, that's the lineup that I like the most.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, if Mitch ain't available, that's my favorite lineup as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I know you like it whether Mitch is available or not, but I don't know. I thought I was looking for Huck Porty, you know what I mean, while I was peeking at the game when I could, and I thought maybe I missed him, so I didn't even know for sure that he didn't play. It's interesting. It's intriguing that he didn't play. Yeah, I don't know I guess I'm gonna take a wait and see approach as to why he didn't play. I'm assuming some other guys got more minutes than last time. Then maybe I didn't look at the minute breakdown, but if he didn't play,
not necessarily. Josh Hart played, so he played 18 minutes.
Okay.
Shamit played 30.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
and Deuce played 32 minutes.
Okay.
Right? Shamit played 13:53. Josh Hart played 18:58. Yabusele played 13:09. Jordan Clarkson played a few more minutes. He played 15:34, and Tyler Kolek played 13:08.
Okay. Maybe that's what it was. I mean, we said when these guys come back, 2 guys are gonna be out. You know what I mean? We said that yesterday.
Right.
Oh,
So okay. So if Mitch comes back, when Mitch comes back, who's out?
who's the next guy out?
Yeah. Because
that's gonna be interesting.
because we need a backup
now,
guard.
Tyler's impact has been better than Yabusele's.
Yeah. Yabusele, he hasn't impressed me at all so far. You know what I mean? He's not going to get a lot of shots. And I don't know. He's a shooter though. Supposed to be. But he hasn't impressed me much. So I don't know.
And it may be the speed of the offense with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It may be, like I said yesterday, learning that 4 position in Mike Brown's offense. That might be different from something he's used to and accustomed to.
Yeah.
So I'm not like down on him or out on him, but in these 2 games, from what I've seen, you know what I mean, Tyler's impact has been more than Yabusele's.
Yeah. That's what I doubt.
You know what I mean? So it will be interesting who's the next guy out or who's out when Mitch is back.
Yeah. Tony, do me a favor. If you see some good comments in the chat, just hit that button to put them up on the screen and I'll read it off. All right.
Yeah.
I agree. I think Tyler Kolek's impact has been more than Yabusele. I mean, I don't even know if Yabusele's had an impact right now, to be honest with you. And it's early, so there's always, there's a chance for him to have an impact, right? I don't know. I'm just from what I see out there, I'm a little bit skeptical about it, about what I see right now from him. And he might be the odd guy out. Now, I think you do need some of the toughness that he brings. What's up with Mo? Like, Diawara fits that role a little bit better in my concern, in my opinion.
Wait, which role?
The role that Yabusele's playing right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't even know if he's more. It's probably more beneficial to put him in that role and let him get his bumps and bruises and you know what I mean, and learn on the fly is probably more beneficial for us short term and long term.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably not. Obviously, Yabusele's going to be polished in a lot more areas than he is. But I agree with you. I would I would look at that for sure.
Sean Richardson says, Sim, it's only been 2 damn games. Well, I know it's only been 2 games, and I'm already judging Yabusele. You're right. You know what? I seen 2. I don't want to brag on myself, but I'm gonna right now. I seen 2 preseason games of Malcolm Brogdon, and I knew we didn't need Malcolm Brogdon on this basketball team. I seen 2 of them, and I could tell right off the bat. I don't know. Don't look like it's working.
That's a fact. Because I ain't even agree with you. I was giving him slack. I was cutting him some slack. You was dead on it.
Yeah, and I feel the same way right now about Yabusele. Not that he's reaching the end of his career, but just that he may not fit into the way that Mike Brown wants to play. He just may not fit in there. I don't know. We'll see. If he starts to hit the 3, then maybe so. If he starts to knock down that 3. Yeah.
And I say that because most of his threes have been open. You know what I mean? Most of his three, you know what I mean? Like he's not gonna be the guy bringing it up the floor and pulling up. You know what I mean? He might bring it up the floor, but he ain't gonna bring it up the floor and shoot it off the dribble. Or
Yeah.
you know what I mean? His has been off the catch, and they've been open for the most part. So I think if he keeps getting those shots, he'll start hitting them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. You know, and it could be just him getting comfortable. You know, Sean Richardson said, "So Sim, how the hell you see 4 years of Thibodeau and didn't know the team desperately needed a change?" I seen 4 years of Tom Thibodeau, and I seen 4 years of continuous
Of success.
improvement and 4 years of continuous success. That's what I saw. There were players that came under Tom Thibodeau's watch that I also didn't think was going to work out. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. And I don't know. I just don't feel like with Yabusele, it's fully there. That's all I'm saying. That's all that I'm saying. I don't think it's fully there for this particular basketball team. But we'll see. We got time. We'll see. And I'm hoping that he proves me wrong. You know? I'm definitely hoping he proves me wrong. Give me a call, ladies and gentlemen, 516-362-5212. I want to hear your thoughts and your opinions. 2 games into the season, ladies and gentlemen, and the Knicks are 2-0. And they beat 2 teams that they couldn't beat last year in the regular season. You know, and each one of these games, the Knicks have had a double-digit lead. Now, in each one of these games, they gave the lead back. Concern you at all?
No, not yet. You know what I mean? Like, not yet. They don't seem to be rattled. Even when Brunson's, because again, he turned it on tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But even when he's having a bad, you know what I mean, bad shooting night or whatever, he still comes up in the clutch. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, not concerning yet. Not
Okay.
concerning yet.
Okay.
Because again, we went in while we learning. What happens when we not giving up the lead? When we start hitting these shots,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's gonna get excited. So
Right. Right.
not yet.
You know,
And these are formidable teams, formidable opponents. Even
okay.
the Celtics,
Definitely
like
formidable
like
teams.
with the injuries, you know what I mean? Like these guys are champions still. You know what I mean? Like a couple of new additions, but the core of that team are champions, and
Yeah.
they know how to make things happen. So
Yeah. Yeah. Mark said, Sim, Philly fans were mad Yabu left. I mean, Philly wasn't that good last year either. Right? You know, due to injuries and all that stuff, but they weren't really that good last year. So, listen, sometimes, just like they say styles make fights, it's that same thing sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's just the style of play, right? Without, Yabusele had to step into that Joel Embiid role, a little bit of a slower game. You know what I mean? So I'm not taking anything away from him as a player. All I'm saying is, from what I see, it may not work on this basketball team. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? It may not work on this basketball team. But as far as the Knicks giving up leads, it is something that I'm watching. Sooner or later, it's going to come back to bite us. And so I'm sure it's something that Mike Brown and the coaching staff are talking about and saying, hey, we've had 2 large leads and we've given them back. Right. And yes, we're playing good basketball teams and all of that. But if we don't stop giving them back, eventually it's going to bite us. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure that that's something they're discussing and talking about. Right. And I think we'll see They'll figure it out. Give us a call, ladies and gentlemen, 516-362-5212. Would love to hear from you tonight. Tony, any other thoughts and takeaways from the game? Just,
Well, I'm looking forward to rewatching it and kind of like really letting it soak in. Carl Anthony Towns, I see him knocking down a couple of threes. That was good to see from him. You know what I mean? I think ultimately long term he'll benefit from this new offense and maybe get those 3-point attempts up. Because I thought he had a lower volume than I expected last year. So I think he'll bring those attempts up. Hopefully all's well with OG. Big impact for me. Like, I'm not saying player of the game, but like Ron talked about it. Josh Hart, man, to come in, he's been gone for what, 2 weeks, pretty much.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
with the back spasms and missing practices and games, and just find a way to affect the game. You know what I mean? Like I thought, I'm worried about Hart with his finger, and that's gonna be a all season thing. And you know what I mean? He already be hesitant with the three and da 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 da. He missed them, but he let him fly today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he impacted the game. What do he have? Like 5 offensive rebounds?
Yeah, he had 14 rebounds altogether today.
14 rebounds, 5 offensive. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. He know how to impact winning. And I think there's a little bit less on his plate this year than last year. You know what I'm saying? With the additions of the guys around him. So now it may even be, I mean, you still got to shoot them threes. Don't hesitate, which you know what I mean? He did today, which was good.
Yeah.
But now he could just kind of be him and affect winning.
Yeah. I think with Josh Hart, he doesn't have to do as much that he had to do last year.
Yeah, it's less on his plate.
Right? Yeah, much less on his plate. So he could just go out there and be him and just ball the way that he balls, right? And it's going to help his game. So he just has less responsibility. So now he can just go out there and hoop, grab rebounds, push the ball up the floor, attack the basket, right? He can just go out and do those things without having to worry about anything else. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have to be one of your main scorers on the team because we have enough of them. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to be a primary ball handler, which, at times he can help in that area. You know what I'm saying? So I think with Josh Hart, I think this is going to help him out a lot. He may not have the triple doubles that he had last year. He'll have some, but he may not have the triple doubles like he had last year. Because he's not going to be playing 35, 36 minutes per game. Or he may not have. He'll have a few scoring nights, but maybe not as many as last year. But overall, it's going to be good for his game. And you know in the back of your mind that you have a guy like him on the bench that can. If you're down 3-4 players, he's a guy that can come in and produce on a few nights. With heavy stats, big stats. You know what I'm saying, and produce for you. So, I'm looking forward to seeing how he fits in. Yeah, I think it's going to be tailor made for him because he was a one-man fast break last season. You know what I'm saying? One-man fast break. So what do you think he's going to be now? He really has the freedom to fast break, at any moment. So, yeah, go ahead, Tom.
One thing I do think he has to break out of, right? And because he's a one-man fast break for sure. But his first option every time when he don't got that lane is where's Brunson. You know what I mean? And I think with this offense, he's gonna have to open up to just see. And he's good. You know what I mean? Like he can get triple doubles, so he can pass the ball. But he's got to. It can't be Brunson first every time, especially with the movement that's going on around him. You know what I mean? With these. But playing with other players other than Brunson, I think that'll help in that area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's out of habit. right now. You know what I'm saying? They're building new habits and everything. It's just habit right now. That okay, where's JB? You know what I'm saying? Where's JB? Let me find JB. You know what I'm saying? He'll have to break the habit. He'll have to figure it out. And he will, because he's not going to play as many minutes with, at least, we don't know yet. But
closed it out tonight, but OG was hampered. So
right.
We'll see how that
right.
play out.
Any
But they closed it
concerns?
out tonight.
Any concerns about OG?
Not right now. He didn't look, you know what I mean? Like if it was halftime, he looked like he would have been back in the game. You know what I mean? It was the end of the game, so I don't think there was any reason to even let him come back. But so no, not right now. We'll see it. We'll see what the reports are, in the next day or two.
Yeah.
But and with his history, but nah, not right now.
If he's out,
I didn't even really see I didn't see what happened either though. I just heard them say OG's hurt. You know what I mean? But he was in the backcourt and they didn't show like what
didn't
exactly
really show
happened.
what happened. Yeah. I think he came down off a rebound, or attempting a rebound or something like that. I don't remember exactly. It came down kind of funny. If OG is out,
Muhammad,
does Diawara step in and become the starter just to keep the rotation tight?
I would like that. I would like that. I mean, that's what he did in the preseason, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was preseason, but I think Diawara was formidable. You know what I mean? In that role, when given the opportunity. Ultimately, we not behind the scenes. We don't know what he's showing in practice, but yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Yeah. Or is it Dadier?
I don't think so. I mean, it's early enough in the season, and maybe they still trying to showcase him, but I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, in the preseason, he was in the beginning of the preseason, he started for OG, and then obviously Diawara kind of took those minutes. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see who steps in. Dwayne Dennis, 8086, said in the fourth quarter, the Knicks were hoisting up very bad shots that opened up the door for the Celtics to climb back into the game. I think that's something that we're going to have to deal with this year from time to time. They're trying to learn how to play faster, with pace, with speed, etc. And so I think from time to time there are going to be nights when they're hoisting up bad shots, and then and they're still trying to figure out how to settle in on playing fast, but also getting the ball to our guy, right? And so it's a learning experience right now with the Knicks. Everything is a learning experience right now with the Knicks. You take anything from that, Tony?
You know how many?
Them taking bad shots in the fourth quarter.
I think I think collectively the pace does have something to do with that. I didn't notice, like, it wasn't anything that stood out to me that I was like, oh, why they taking these shots? So I might have missed it tonight. It's something I'll look out for. But yeah, I think you also got to credit the Celtics and their pedigree, right? Like, granted, they missing. It's not the same team as last year or whatever the case, the championship team, but
right.
that core is the same. that coach is the same, that mentality is the same. You know what I mean? Like, so they gonna fight. They know how to they know how to be scrappy and chip away and things like that. So you gotta credit the Celtics as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They right. And they know, the Celtics know they gotta battle a little bit harder this year, right? Because they're down players. They got a different team, etc. They got to battle a little bit harder, So they're gonna fight. They're always gonna be a team that fights, especially when they're playing the Knicks. They're gonna be a team that fights. That's just that. Any key plays, decisions tonight that you thought really made the game for the Knicks? A lot of focus this year is going to be on Mike Brown. I may change this. I may change this little segment here to the Mike Brown segment, something like that. Because I got a new setup coming, so I might change that segment. But any key plays or decisions tonight?
From me watching on the fly, I'm gonna just say it was nice to see Brunson get some clutch moments down the stretch. You know what I mean? Like it you know what I mean? It felt like a Brunson game tonight.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if I have any key decisions. I think maybe the key decision was starting Deuce.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That might have been the key. That might have been the key right there. Instead of going big, you started Deuce. I know Huck Porty had to sit, but that's just part of the game, right? That's just part of the game. You might have to sit on nights like that.
I do believe Towns wants to play the 5, though.
You think so?
I do.
You know what's good about him playing the 5 is he pulls the 5 out the paint, right? If you have Mitch, if you have Huck Porty playing the 5, that 5, especially if it's a shot blocking guy, a rim protector, can stay in the paint, can chill in the paint. You know what I'm saying? With Cat, you can't do that. You got to come out the paint to guard him.
And that was one of the problems. Pardon me. That was one of the problems when Hart was the starter, because they didn't have to put a big on Towns.
Right.
They put a big on Hart.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he'll be able to roll, still be able to watch the paint and kind of leak off of Hart. With Deuce in that starting lineup, you can't do that no more.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if this gets an extended look. You know what I mean? I would not be surprised.
I think it's
if
smart.
This gets an extended look.
I think it would be very smart for it to be, for them to give it an extended look. You know what I mean? I think Deuce helps to handle the ball. They'll be able to play a little bit faster. Everybody on the court in that lineup can shoot the ball. You got defense all around Brunson and Cat for that part. You don't have as much rim protection.
And Cat played good defense early in the game.
He did, yeah.
From what I saw.
The Public Enemy asked, what do you think about the arrest of Billups, Rozier, and Jones? Off topic with the Knicks, but
that the poker thing had nothing to do with betting on the league, and so that had not. It's bad for him being a coach.
Right.
And the people he frauded, defrauded, but the gambling things, the prop bets, it's gonna be hard to get away from that. You know what I mean? Like, the league is in partnership with, you know what I mean? Every commercial break, you're gonna see a fan duel or you know what I mean? Whatever, some type of betting commercial.
Right.
They're in they sponsors for the league. So
yeah.
ESPN got their own sports book. You know what I mean? Like, it's only going to get bigger and
I feel like I
more
need to get my own
influential.
sports book.
Say that again.
Feel like I need to get my own sports book. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to, feel like I need to get my own.
I would say, be careful, son. Be careful.
Yeah, Big Bubba will be out there making
Sharing
crazy bets,
information.
doing whatever. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got to be careful with that.
He should be good in his new job. I think he'll be on the
Yeah,
straight and
okay.
narrow.
That's what's up. Yeah, for real. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, man. The NBA's got to, and like you said, Billups, it doesn't have to do with the league. Besides, he was a coach in the league, and the whole game had mafia ties and all that kind of stuff. But it's still a bad look for the league, and too much of it is happening right now. Too many of these things are happening. There's already people out there that always say the league is fixed. Right, with these things happening, it'll take fans away because people are gonna feel like the game is fixed and all of the, like boxing was back in the day, right? Like we're not hearing this stuff with the NFL or Major League Baseball, but we're hearing it with the NBA. You know what I'm saying? And it's it doesn't look good. Doesn't look good at all.
Hopefully it doesn't happen. But if you notice, the names that are coming up in these investigations, they're not prominent NBA guys. You know what I mean? They're not the top tier guys. So, I think that also changes things too. You know what I mean? Like if you hear about a big name player, I think that's when it really gets sticky. You know what I mean? It really gets nasty. These I'm trying to phrase it without being disrespectful, but you know what I mean? These mid-tier players that or lower, it becomes an example for like the rookies and the younger class and you know what I mean of things to avoid. But hopefully we don't hear about it with with one of the better players because that's when it really becomes crazy.
Sean Richardson said LeBron was named. I didn't see LeBron's name anywhere, but I haven't paid attention to everything either.
I heard it, but I didn't know how much validity there was to it. It was more speculatory.
Okay.
Not
very hard for me to see LeBron jumping into that. Very, very hard for me to see him doing it. You know what I mean? LeBron is very reputation conscious, right? Very reputation conscious. For everything that we know, he's always been on the up and up, making good decisions. I mean, he did some immature things when he was young and said some immature things, but he's always been a model player, worked very hard to be a model citizen, and do things for the community. It's just hard for me to see LeBron doing that.
And I think what I was talking about was the poker game. So what I had heard was he may have been a victim.
Okay. Ooh.
It was you know what I mean? It was unsubstantiated, but you know what I mean? Like he may have been somebody who played and lost. you know what I mean? Not somebody like he was involved in the actual rigging.
Right. And rigging of it. Now that would be very dirty by Chauncey Billups.
I mean, at this point, it's like whoever came on his behalf or from his invitation, or even, because they wanted to sit at the table with him, like
right.
They're victims.
They're
you know
victims.
What I mean? Like
they're victims. Yeah.
So yeah, I know a lot of people looking at him dirty, and I know there's people that aren't gonna speak out that were victims. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whether it's because of embarrassment, whether it's just because they don't want to kick him while he's down. You know what I
Right.
mean? But they like in the this mother.
Now, if LeBron was, you know, it is an illegal gambling, whatever. So he would be, they would say, oh well, LeBron was in an illegal gambling, such and such and such.
I don't know. I don't know if the game in itself was illegal though. I think the illegal part was the rigging of the game.
I don't know. I think it was. I was reading it in the post. I
It was
think, yeah, the games were
okay.
illegal. Yeah, yeah.
But
It
because
was
certain
illegal.
states they allow the
Yeah, I think
the games, you just like the house can't get paid for it, but
right.
the players could play for money,
Yeah, I
basically.
think it was, and I think there were illegal games, and on top of it being illegal games, they were robbing people at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah,
But I thought because the house makes money, it becomes illegal. I don't know if it's illegal for the players. You know what I'm saying?
oh yeah, maybe. Yeah,
Like
I'm not sure. Right,
to
right,
go
right.
play. I don't know
Yeah,
if
that
it's
could be.
illegal to go play,
Right,
but the house making like the house
right,
getting a fee and that's what makes it
right.
illegal gambling.
Yeah, you know.
I only say that because I know like Houston, there's mad poker games that you could go
Mm-hmm.
high end
Mm-hmm.
poker games that you could go play at.
Yeah,
But what makes it legal is the house is not making money.
yeah.
The place that the venue's not making money.
Right. And I don't know. I didn't get into the details of which state and all of this stuff. So I don't know. I was looking at the list of names. Right, 30
Mm-hmm.
people were arrested. It was names like such and such, Black Rob, boom. Sweet Touch Tony, like all kinds of wild names. You know what I'm saying? I was like, like mafia names. I'm like, yeah, what's up?
Yeah, but they ain't released those names. You know what I mean? They just said members of all five families.
Now, some of those names I think were mafia names.
No,
I
I
think.
know, but what I'm saying is in their press conference,
Oh, oh,
they
oh.
didn't name those names. You know what I mean? They
Oh,
named
right,
Chelsea. They named
right.
you know what I mean? They put who they wanted in the
Who they wanted?
spotlight,
Oh, of
and
course.
then generalized the five families of the you know what I mean the mafia people.
Yeah. Right. Right. Definitely. But it was
That's funny.
definitely some mob people up in there. Mob names up in there. You know what I mean? Crazy.
we gotta give them mob names now.
Who? Give who mob names?
Chauncey
in there?
like Chauncey the Chin Billups.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can find some the list of those names somewhere so I can read them out.
We call him Terry
Funny,
Two Shots.
Terry. Yeah. On New York Post, they got all of the court documents. Okay, here we go. So the FBI arrested 31 people involved in a rigged poker game, backed by the New York City organized crime families. Right. So you got names like Nelson Spanish G. Alvarez, Louis Lou Apicella or Apicella, Amar Flapper Poker Awadi, Saul Becker, professional poker player.
Gotta be a Saul.
Right. Of course,
Gotta have a Saul.
Saul, right? They had Chauncey, Matthew the Wrestler Dadino, Eric Spooky Ernest, Thomas Tommy Juice Gallardo, Tony Black Tony Goodson, Shane Sugar Henny, Osmond Albanian Bruce Hody, Even Damon Jones had a little name. Damon D. Jones Jones.
I was
John
gonna say they should have just said Chauncey Big Shot Billups.
Phillips, right? Right? Anthony Doc Schneiderman. Robert Black Rob Stroud. Sophia Pookie Wee. Yeah, it's bugged out, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know, man. But the NBA got to do something about it. You know, about what's going on, what's been going on recently. You know, betting on the game. You know, they had video of the exact moment that Terry Rozier, threw part of the game or whatever. You know,
Took himself out.
took himself out the game. You know, got to clean it up. It's definitely a black guy for the league. Got to clean it up.
And I think they already made the biggest example. It'll be interesting. I'll be interested to know how much of this stuff actually went on after the Porter suspension, or ban.
Right.
Like you would, because if anybody did anything after that, like, oh, he got caught, I ain't gonna get caught. You know what I mean? You can't make a bigger an example out of than banning somebody from the league, but
Right.
yeah, that's nuts. If they was still doing it after Porter got caught
Yeah.
and got his repercussions.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's we'll see how it turns out. You know, but yeah, you gotta ban people from the league. You know, I know they're going through the process of investigation and all of that, but you gotta go ahead and ban them from the league. If you're harsh, then hopefully it deters people from doing it. You know, if you give them light sentences, people are okay, I don't care. You know, so you got to give them some real sentences. Yeah. I don't know, man. But who do the Knicks play next? What's the next game, Tony?
Another rivalry. Miami Heat, I think.
Miami Heat.
Sunday, I think.
Let's see what we're doing here. Is it Sunday?
I believe so.
Okay. I mean, that's good, man. 3 rivalries in a row.
I think I heard that.
Business.
I think I heard that on during the game.
Well, I'm gonna check it out now. I'm gonna go to the Knicks schedule. Check it out now. I'm pretty sure somebody in the chat already is already beating
Yeah,
us
Sunday,
to
6 p.m. I see it in the chat.
Sunday 6 p.m. Miami Heat. Should be another win for us. I mean, obviously, the Miami Heat are gonna play tough, right? They're gonna play us tough. It's a rivalry game. That's that. At this point in time, though, the Knicks, the players on this team, most of them should already know about any rivalry that we're playing. They should be used to it. You know what I'm saying? And ready to come out and go 3-0. When's the last time the Knicks started off 3-0 in a season?
I feel like we've done it in under the previous regime.
You mean under Tibbs?
Yeah, I feel like we've done it under Tibbs.
I always thought under Tibbs we kind of started off a little wonky.
Well, I feel like there was a time we was 3-0 and then we was 3-3. You know what I mean? I felt like that's what
there might have been. Definitely might have been. Right now in the Eastern Conference, the Knicks are 2-0. The Milwaukee Bucks are 2-0. Charlotte Hornets, they're 1-0. Chicago Bulls 1-0. Philadelphia 1-0. Toronto is 1-1. The Hawks are 1-1. Orlando's 1-1. Miami's 1-1. And Cleveland is 1-1. Obviously, the league, the season just started. The Nets are 0-2. The Celtics are 0-2. The Wizards 1-1. The Pistons 1-1. Right now, San Antonio's 2-0. Wemby is
I got a question.
kicking butt.
I got a question for you.
Uh-huh.
At what point, what would the Celtics record have to be for them to say we're better off getting in the lottery than trying to be a playing team?
It's a good question.
We got Jason coming back. You know what I mean? We could retool, get some young talent in. Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. They'd have to be, pretty far below 500, I think. I think they're still going to be I think they can still be a top 6 team in the Eastern Conference.
I'm just saying.
It's possible.
If they hovering around 600, 500, that could be 6. You know what I mean? That could be the 6th seed.
It could be in the Eastern Conference this year. It could be.
But
they're a tough team. They're a tough team. They still have talent over there. Anthony Simons is talented. Obviously, Jaylen Brown is talented. Peyton Pritchard is good.
He came off the bench.
Simons, yeah. Came off the bench. Yeah. In the Eastern Conference, looking at the top 6 right now, obviously it's just 2 games in, but the Bucks, Knicks, Hornets, Bulls, 76ers, Raptors. You expect the Raptors, the Bulls, and the Hornets to probably fall out of there. The Hawks, the Magic should probably raise up. The Cleveland Cavaliers should raise up. The Pistons should raise up. There's still some good basketball teams here. I know people talk about the injuries in the Eastern Conference, right? But the Cavs are good. The Magic should be good. The Hawks should be good. 76ers, we'll see. The Knicks, the Bucks, the Pistons, the Pacers. They took OKC to double overtime. They still should be a decent basketball team. They're not going to be the same, but they should still be a decent basketball team. The East could still go 10 deep. Of good basketball teams. You know what I mean? So, there's a lot of competition still in the Eastern Conference. Now, the West, of course, is crazy. Spurs should be good. The Thunder, the Suns, the Timberwolves, the Warriors. Maybe the Grizzlies, I don't know. The Nuggets, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Mavericks, the Rockets. I was looking at the Rockets starting lineup. I was watching I don't know what I was watching. Some show. And the average height of their starting lineup is 6'10".
Right?
6'10".
6'10".
Amen Thompson is the shortest at 6'7". Yeah, he's the shortest at 6'7". Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It is, but I watched one of their games, and they kind of I forgot who they were playing, but they had to take Adams out. You know what I mean? Like he was becoming a detriment. Yeah. So it'll work at times, but I don't think it's like that's not their. I doubt that's their closing lineup. You know what I mean?
Right. But to have that length of a lineup on the floor, that's wild.
That is.
That's crazy. I wonder if they traded away their, just the heart of their team, the crux of their team. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We'll see how they'll still be good, but we'll see how they end up.
You mean for KD?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think that was the right move for them. Especially with the ascension of Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do think them putting Thompson at the point guard might not be the best move for his progression. At least immediate. It might help him long term in his career,
Right.
but I think it ends up being a setback this season because of the responsibility they're putting on him. You know what I mean? Like, it was one thing for you to step up and kind of fill in for Dylan Brooks, but now you telling me, nah, you got to fill in for both of them. You got to do both their roles now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, I agree here. You need them Deuce McBride type of players, for real. You do. But I mean, but that height is crazy. You know what I'm saying? That height is definitely crazy. Any sleepers in the Eastern Conference? I mean, you know, we named the teams that you expect to be good. Any sleepers you think?
My natural sleeper, like the one that makes sense, and you know, it's probably like a lot of people's sleeper is Atlanta. But my real like sleeper that like I don't expect people to agree with or jump on the bandwagon, Toronto.
Okay. I'm gonna go check out a couple of Toronto games this year when the Knicks play. I'm gonna go check them out. Yeah.
Like live, you saying?
Live, yeah. Like I'm gonna go to
Let
Toronto.
me know, man.
I'm gonna go to Toronto.
I'll hop on it.
Yeah.
You driving or you taking the Amtrak?
Probably driving.
Let me know. Maybe I'll Amtrak to you and then
And then
you
we
know what I mean?
drive there. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Probably drive. I'm like 3 hours away. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go check out a couple of you know, Knicks versus Toronto in Toronto. We got Corey from Rochester. What's poppin', brother? How you feeling?
Yo, what up, guys? Welcome back again.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Welcome back.
Peace.
Back.
That's
What's
right.
happening with you, bro? How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling okay, man. I'm just hanging in, you know. How y'all feeling? You and Tony.
Good. Feeling good, man. I mean,
No.
you know, it's the season. I couldn't ask for a better start, I guess. How you feeling?
Nope.
How you feeling about the start? How you feeling about the team?
I'm loving it. Because this is how you're supposed to coach a team. You're supposed to have more than a 7-man rotation. A 7-man rotation, just like how y'all been talking about it last year, it wasn't cutting it. Yeah, he got the team off winning, don't get me wrong, but it's not cutting it. Because once you got that 11-man rotation running, it's going to be hard to double team a lot of players on our team. I mean, a lot of people are going to be wide open. And that's the way you're supposed to do it. Because, you know, if you worry about one key man, then another key man going to be open.
Right.
I mean, to me, I know still a lot of things to clean up, but being off to a 2-0 start and winning both games at home, beating the two main teams that was like high up in that Eastern Conference, Cleveland number 1 and Boston was number 2, can't ask for a better start than that. That feels so good to me.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I was working DJ and a Boston fan was trying to think they was going to come back and win. I said, Boston's still going to lose. I'm like, stop it. Knowing that you think they should take them in the lineup, y'all season's going to be very, very rough.
Yeah. So how do you feel about the style of play the Knicks have right now?
Well, the style of play, I like that everybody's still playing team ball. Not one person is like trying to take over the game. You know, everybody's still trying to get their feet wet, but you know, just like Jalen Brunson said at the end of the game, he said that, you know, they're still learning the fly, still trying to, you know what I'm saying, get used to each other still, you know, more as the season goes on. But you know who really was really key off that bench? Clarkson. I could see why Clarkson had to be probably the biggest free agent move we had to get because of him being known as a 6-man. That 6-man and him and Shamet, oh my goodness. That could be a deadly combination going off the bench. And Josh Hart, I was surprised that he was playing tonight. I was surprised. I thought maybe he was going to be out a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, Josh Hart's not trying to sit too long. He wants to be out there on the floor. He wants to be out there hooping. He's not going to sit too long.
Nah. But that first game, it was
he's
smart.
Still trying to get back in the starting lineup.
Word.
He's like, the longer I sit, the further I get from that.
You know what I'm saying? Word.
Tony, don't try to push the button that ain't been pressed yet, man. Because if it's not broken of him coming off the bench, don't fix it for him to be in the starting lineup yet.
Listen, it ain't me. I'm telling you how he feels.
Oh, you're telling how he feels? Oh, I thought you was trying to say how you felt.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he cares for real.
Nah, as long as he gets a role, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I don't think he cares. He knows he's hooping. He knows he's gonna play. So I don't think he really cares that much.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, how you felt about the game tonight?
I mean, I felt good. I mean, I love the fact that we took a double-digit lead. Obviously, look, it's the NBA, and leads are gonna dissipate. I would like for them to not give up the leads.
Right. I feel you on that, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sooner or later it's gonna bite us, but we're figuring out how to pull them back, how to pull the games out. We won two games by, we didn't win the first game by double digits, but we were up double digits. We were up 17 in that game. We were up 20 plus in this game.
Right.
And that's good for a team that's just getting together for the most part. Well, I don't want to say just getting together. Who's got a new coach, a new system, and added a few new players.
There you go.
So that's always a good thing. We're still learning on the fly, but we're winning while we're learning.
Exactly, and that's what's key.
You know what I mean?
Well, now we're off to Miami, and it's a lot of crazy things going on in Miami. That Terry Rozier, he got arrested on some illegal gambling poker.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Oh, okay.
We were just talking about it, man. It's crazy.
Right.
It's crazy. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know.
The league hopefully will put a stop to it somehow, some way.
Right. Prior they said it was gonna take almost 6 to 12 months. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's a long time.
Yeah. Look at this right here. We hear it in your voice, Sim. You miss Tibbs playing 40 plus minutes. Where does that even come from? What are you talking about, D. Coolest? Well, where's that even come from? That I missed? What? What's happening right now? D. Coolest said it from the chat that I missed Tibbs. He just want to start something.
Oh, come on, cut it out. Cut it out. I don't miss Tibbs. I'm sorry.
No,
I don't miss Tibbs.
He's saying I miss Tibbs. He's saying that I miss Tibbs. Because I've been a Tibbs supporter. Right? And I'm not ashamed to be a Tibbs supporter. Right? If it wasn't for Tibbs, we wouldn't be in this position. And D. Coolest knows that. A lot of people know that. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for Tibbs, we wouldn't be in this position. But I support Mike Brown to the fullest. Okay, D. Coolest?
Right. Yes.
Support Mike Brown. And I'm rooting for Mike Brown. And I hope that we win a championship with Mike Brown.
Me too. So, I couldn't agree with you even more.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Couldn't agree even more. Somebody in the chat that said that.
Someone in the chat. Like, why are we bringing up Tibbs right now?
People just can't let go of the past of the history, man.
Tibbs is done.
They can't let go of the past.
Tibbs is done.
Right. Come on. We got to move on to the Mike Brown chapter, man.
I supported Tibbs. I ain't in the front. I support him. But I support Mike Brown, too. And I think he's doing a great job so far. Let me tell you something that I really like about Mike Brown that I see, and I didn't see it with Tibbs, D. Coolest,
Okay.
Sean Richardson, all these guys. I love the fact that Mike Brown is coaching in the game. He's
Yes.
coaching these guys, right? You see him tell Yabusele, hold your dribble, right? You see him coach Tyler Kolek, right? He's coaching, you know. So when these guys walk past, it's not just, you know, I can remember when you know, guys have messed up and they walk past Tibbs and it's like the silent treatment. You know what I'm saying? Tibbs don't have nothing to say to them, and they don't have nothing to say to Tibbs. It's not like that with Mike Brown.
And he encourages them. You know what I mean? Briefly in when they coming off the bench,
Yeah.
or when they coming back to the bench. You
Right.
know what I mean? Good job out there. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I definitely love to see that.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's
It's
the way you keep them going. And that's the way they're going to feel good of trying to keep, you know, playing for you like that. Because I don't know why Tibbs wasn't doing that. And to me, that's just like you just like putting them down for what? And they're trying hard to try to, you know, do what they could do.
Yeah.
But you're just too old school in your way just to be on the defensive side of the ball, which is cool. But the rotation is your issue. And they was really telling the truth that the rotation was not enough. You can't win that way. It's not enough.
I hear you, man. Nah, I like what Mike Brown is doing. I like the way he's coaching the players, developing a relationship with the players. You know, you know, and you know, the fact that he's coaching them mid game, like coaching skills mid game. It reminds you of a high school coach, college coach. You know,
right.
You know, teaching them mid game, and that builds confidence from the players. It builds trust in the coach. You know what I'm saying? And it creates a family type atmosphere that's going to build chemistry. You know, so I'm very, very encouraged. Very.
Exactly. That's why it's not easy to find a coach to replace somebody, you know, saying who could be the main factor to try to keep New York going on top of the map, because that's where we want to be. We want to still be on top of the map.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, it's high expectations, and I know it is. But the way it's going, it could really. I believe we're gonna finally get over the hump, man. But I mean, I know it's still early, and I know we're just 2 games in. But the start, I can't complain. 2-0, looking real good. It ain't gonna always be pretty, but as long as you get the W.
That's it. That's it. Just get the W. It's not always going to be pretty. Just get the win.
That's all.
You know what I'm saying? Just get the win.
I don't care if it's by 4 points or 2 points. I don't care. As long as they say W, bam.
Yeah.
It's the W.
Slow Runner 14 said Tibbs turned the Knicks organization around. Give the man credit. I always give him credit. I always give him credit. He did. You know, and everybody just got to remember that. East Blue Drew said, I still remember Tibbs left Brunson hanging on a dap. Tibbs was in game. Tibbs was a mad serious dude, man. Outside of the games, you know what I mean? In practice, maybe it's something different. But in the game, Tibbs was serious. He wasn't joking. He wasn't joking.
No, he wasn't.
But Corey, man, I appreciate your time, man. I'm around your way now.
Oh, you're on my way now?
I'm around your way now. I'm in Rochester.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So look forward to some watch parties and things happening soon this season.
Okay. Well, I told you where I'll be at. I'm at the PI spot at the club, man.
Okay.
I'm not that far away.
Yeah, well, you know, get the crew. You know what I'm saying? Get the crew so we can get out there and have some nice watch parties, and especially playoff time. But you know, throughout the season, we're gonna have some too. So anybody in the area, Syracuse, Buffalo, Rochester, Utica, you know, come. Anybody in those areas or outside, you know, but somewhere close, come through.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'll let everybody know what it is.
Yeah. That's what, since I know you be on the air like turn late at night, I'll make sure that I make sure I keep informed with you so we keep stay in contact.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Corey, I appreciate your time, man.
You already know, baby.
All right, peace.
Peace, family.
Peace.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we've been on for like 2.5 hours. I didn't expect to be on for that long, but this like one of the old school marathon shows.
We're gonna have to do losers lives tomorrow.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? For real, we're gonna have to do it tomorrow.
Keep on going.
But yeah, it's like one of those old school marathon shows, but it was a good one. We got past all the technical difficulties, found a nice groove finally, and here we are. You know what I mean? Tony, any last words you want to say before we rock out of here?
Just pleasure to be back, man. Season's back. Looking forward to getting this whole schedule thing down and revamping this MBK, Knicks and Bruises, all this.
Yeah, we got some stuff going on. I've been in some conversations with Die Hard. You know what I'm saying? So JJ said thoughts on Prime. About the games being on Prime. I don't know. A little bit of a new. I don't know. It's all right, I guess.
I got the free trial for a month, so right now I ain't got no complaints. Talk to me in 30 days when I gotta pay that $15.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. Nothing special. It's crazy that the games are all over the place, right? Prime, ESPN, NBC, like the games are everywhere. So nationally televised games, you got to find them. You know what I'm saying? But, that's a little crazy. Just another way to make money, I guess, for everybody involved, except for the fans. Another way for the fans to spend money. You know what I mean? But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to head up out of here. Appreciate your time. It's been a good one. Please excuse the technical difficulties earlier. All right, but it happens like that from time to time. We're up out of here, and we'll catch you tomorrow, man. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.